Hi. So, paano malalaman kung pure yung DNA na na-isolate natin sa cell or yung RNA? Okay. So, yung DNA, nag-a-absorb siya ng ultraviolet rays. So, we use UV-vis spectroscopy to check the purity. So, pag nag-isolate tayo ng DNA from um, cell or tissue, usually yung cell or tissue may mga protein siya. Okay? Um, okay. So yung protein, nag-absorb din siya ng ultraviolet radiation. So yung protein backbone, salt, and phenol, usually yung absorbance value niya is around 230 nanometer. Okay? And then yung aromatic rings of the protein, usually ang absorbance value niya ay higher, around 280. Okay? For the DNA and RNA, yung absorbance value is around 260 nanometer. Okay? So itong mga value na to, kinukuha natin yung ratio. So we can get ito yung rule of the thumb. So we could get the ratio from ng 260 over 280 or yung 260 over 230. Okay? So pure DNA usually are approximately around 1.8. Pag sobrang baba ng value like 0.5, 1, usually it means contaminated ng protein yung ating isolate. Okay, so yung RNA, it's kind of higher. Why? Because yung RNA, they have uracil group and mas malakas yung efficiency nito to absorb ultraviolet radiation. Okay. Take note, yung DNA isolated from cells or bacteria, they are double-stranded. Okay? And like sinabi ko, there's a hydrogen bonds between nitrogenous bases ng dalawang strand. Okay? So yung GC have yung bond between hydrogen bonds between G and C, we have 3 hydrogen bonds, and between A and T, meron tayong 2 hydrogen bonds. Okay? And since this hydrogen bond to, it has ability to absorb energy. So the higher the hydrogen bond, it means more energy yung kaya niyang i-absorb. Okay? Therefore, pag hinit natin yung DNA or ininit natin siya, kayang mag-absorb ng maraming heat yung DNA na maraming GC compare sa DNA na maraming AT. Okay? So therefore, the higher the GC content ng DNA, it means higher yung melting curve or melting point or melting temperature. Okay? So ano yung DNA melting? So DNA melting kapag nag-break yung strand because nag-absorb ng heat or energy itong hydrogen bond between nitrogenous bases natin. Okay? And again, the higher the GC, the higher the melting point of the DNA. Okay? And yung single-stranded DNA natin, mas mataas yung capacity niya to absorb ultraviolet radiation compare dun sa ating double helix. Okay? So, yun yung mga kailangan yung tandaan. So, for participation quiz, our class participation or recitation, so plus 3 points sa exam. Yung first 10 students na makakuha ng sagot sa question ko. So yung question ay why DNA is more stable than RNA. Okay? So again, yung first 10 student na makakuha ng question, bibigyan ko ng 3 points dun sa final exam. Okay? Final exam lecture. Okay.